Okay, welcome back to the second DLC for When the Night Comes, called Till Death. And you notice there's a gallery. I won't be going there until after I finish the playthrough. Like the previous one, there's already a save. We're gonna go ahead and open that. So also like the previous one, if you didn't romance anyone, there really isn't anything to do in the DLC because the DLC are designed for you to do stuff with couples, which I get that, but it'd be kind of fun to see how it would play out if you hadn't romanced anyone. But anyway, so here we are. I'm not sure if the background is familiar, but this is in the forest. Again, you can see the eyes. Can't believe I didn't notice them at first. So, so here we go. It's spring in Lunaris, and the forest is alive, but not in the usual unnerving, shivers down your spine, unseen eyes watching and waiting to kill you kind of way. So once barren trees are lush and green, the forest floor littered with flowers that hide the dirt, and even the air feels clearer somehow, less oppressive, less full of magic and other dark and terrible things. I wonder why that is. Oi, buddy, keep up, will you? I want to get home sometime this year. I'm freezing my tits off. And then there's Piper. Intergeneral, love of my life, and total mood killer. Yes, dear. I pick up my pace until I'm at her side, watching her carefully as she walks briskly, her eyes focused on the tree line ahead of us. Oh, and text box is different. I can feel something close, and I know she can too. It's new, whatever it is. A fresh kill and newly risen corpse, I suspect. Abandoned younglings are popular these days. We can't expect the Casimirs to deal with these any longer. A vampire killing one of its own kind, no matter how lost they are, it just isn't right. Notice it's a different font here too, and here. I agree. We can take away that burden for them. She nods. Killing Aya affected her more than she'd ever say, and the memories of our final fight with Harry still plague us both in the form of nightmares, a shared trauma. Us done with these younglings, instead of having Finn and his friends do so, it's a mercy. I reach for her hand, but then I hear a noise. Not just any noise, a guttural scream, a death knell, followed by another. I need as a sound effect. I unsheathed my weapon and turned to look at her. That delicate, almost fawn noise isn't the kind I expect to hear when two feral vampires are making a break for us. You okay there? She gripped her daggers hard enough for her knuckles to bleed white, grinning wickedly as she readied herself for impact. Yeah, it just reminds me of the night we first killed something together. Remember? That bitch tried to tear our throats out. I snort, watching as the vampires get closer. It's unsteady on its feet, which is a good sign, but the look in its eyes tells me it's not about to fuck around. That's terribly sentimental, but also a little morbid, don't you think? I got some water and me too. There we go. There we go, that works. The first vampire makes contact with Piper, tackling her to the ground with a thud, but Piper is the first to be reckoned with, pulling her head back and making sure the creature sees stars as she lands a headbutt right in the center of its skull, without too much to flinch. That hurts just thinking about it. The sound is sickening. She shouts it off her and stands quickly, brushing dirt off her coat while it shakes itself from its pepper-induced daze. I don't think it's quite the same as the pepper-induced daze for Robin. Just saying. Then she grabs my hand and kisses me square on the lips. Shut up, love is weird. Now, let's kill these things. Love is weird, ain't that the truth? I always find it hard to recover from the feel of her mouth against mine, but the second feral vampire that stomps at my ankles does a good job of speeding up the process. I would imagine so. I kick it away and launch into action. Piper and I perfectly in sync as we move around the battlefield. It always feels like this, right before a fight. My hands shake, my mind blinks out, and the air around me blurs, and then I just go. So our connection is one that stems from the infliction of dark and unwanted magic. We turned it into something beautiful. It's a dance, something only we could ever begin to fathom. I love that description. I can hear every beat of her heart, every kick of her breath. I can calculate her moves, and she mine in return. That's why this thing doesn't stand a chance against us. Nothing ever does. Battle crashes around us like a breaking wave, messy and consuming. Though it drowns out the sound of my own racing heart, hers drums loudly in my ears. Thud, 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 thud. I smile with the reassurance, lifting my weapon to combat an oncoming blow. I plant my boot against the enemy's chest and push, using the brief moment that the creature stumbles backward in dazed confusion to find Piper, seeking out her wild eyes across the clearing. She's so beautiful, powerful, strong, edgy and cocky, but that's just how I like it, like her. My back finds hers, and we turn in perfect motion, the dance beginning again until everything around us falls to ruin. Piper tugs her silver blade free of the dissolving chest of the vampire, avoiding the fountain of blood that follows, and stepping aside to let it paint the dirt a garish yet satisfying crimson. Mine falls soon after hers does, its life passed out in a similar fashion. I close my eyes as the light smattering of blood sprays against my skin. I let the rhythmic beat of her unsteady heart calm me, once again seeking and finding mine beating in tune. No, I love that idea. I love that image. Both of us alive. So the wind is gentle when it rustles my hair, the leaves, the grass, and Piper smiles where she kneels in the dirt before me. Another hunt survived, another day lived. I reach out a gloved hand in offering, her sapphire eyes looking skyward, and she curls her fingers around mine. But with a hard tug, Piper lures me down into the dirt with her, my knees muddy, my cheeks flushed, and both of our smiles wide. Are you trying to get me to pray? She exhales sharply, moving closer until she can reach to cup her hand to my jaw. There are far better things to do on your knees. Despite her sharp tongue, her touch is tender to an almost painful degree, and as I lean in to brush my lips to hers in the most fleeting of kisses, I know that the only thing I'd ever dare to pray to is her. Though this is funny. I mean, it's not uncommon for a battle to get the blood storming, but oh gosh, I know which one I did before, but we lay in the grass and stare up at the night sky, our fingers entwined between us, and all I can hear is her breathing as it evens out. She calms me, my own continuing to match hers, to beat for her. Pepper turns to face me with a gentle, fond smile. When I'm so in love, I can't think straight. Marry me. I don't pose it as a question, and I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking, but right now all I can see is Piper, and how much falling in love with her has changed my life. She starts to laugh, and then her eyes grow wide when I don't laugh back. Wait, you're serious? I sit up and she follows, and I reach for both of her hands and pull them into my lap. I stare her dead in her sapphire eyes, and I make a choice. I love her fully and without question, from the freckles on her cheeks to the violent scars that litter her skin. I'm dead serious. Marry me. I hit the ground with a thud when she throws herself at me, her arms around my neck, squeezing me tightly enough that I think she might tear my head from my spine. Then she mumbles something into the crook of my neck. It sounds like, fuck yes. You still propose even if you fool around. It just takes a little longer to get to that point. I wake up with a pillow to the face. Wake up, we're gonna be fucking late. I sit up and immediately realize that I'm not in our bed. I'm on the sofa, and I have no recollection of how I got here or when. That's not good. What the fuck? Piper is hopping around the room with pulling her trousers on, and she grabs her daggers from the coffee table with a grunt. We must have packed out. Now hurry up and get your arse out of the door before Wilhelm arrives and bangs it down. I stand up and blink to sleep from my eyes and realize that, luckily enough, I'm still fully clothed. Although I can't say I look very well put together, but wrinkled clothes are better than no clothes at all. That's true. Less to worry about getting on. I rush for the door to follow Piper, but she grabs my wrist before I can pass her. She grabs me against the doorframe and stares me down. I feel my skin getting hot. Did you mean it? What you said last night? That thing you asked me? Now that I do remember. I nod furiously and Piper smiles. I meant it. Did you really say yes? She releases me with a grin, no answer, and disappears into the street. I watch her run off along the cobblestones as she turns to wave her hands in the air, startling a passing old lady, but she then said on an almighty, yeah. Piper. I'll take that as a yes then. Argus isn't very pleased with that, since the way they're looking at us over the very hastily scribbled mission report Piper just wrote right in front of them is anything to go by. Just when I thought you started to take your job seriously. Piper scoffs and leans back in her chair, placing her feet up on the desk. I reach out and push them down before Argus gets a chance, or shoots fire out of their eyes, or something. You take it plenty seriously, thank you very much. She looks at me, her eyes pleading and questioning. I clear my throat and step forward, placing a hand upon the edge of the report that clutch and gently coaxing them to drop it. I might have asked Piper to marry me last night after we killed the younglings, so you can blame me for a lack of preparation for the meeting, I suppose. August looks at me, slack-jawed, their blue eyes growing comically wide. They drop the report on the desk and stand quickly, their epaulets clinking noisily. I brace myself, as does Piper. I said yes, if that helped. Then August is running around to our side of their desk and pulling us both into a crushing hug, their lavender perfume practically suffocating me as I get a faceful of their pretty hair. No, they're happy for us. They pull back and place a hand upon each of our shoulders, and they look so impossibly happy that my heart begins to ache a little. You all right, boss? They nod and quickly put themselves to rights, standing straight and fixing the jacket. Congratulations, truly. I'm excited for you. And frankly, I've been expecting this. You have? They lean back on their desk and cross their long legs at the ankles, tucking a stray strand of hair behind their ear quietly. Oh gosh, that image. Just take a moment. Just picturing it. Okay, I'm good. You've just seemed so content lately. I assumed it was a next logical step. And I doubt they're the only one who's been expecting this. I look over at Piper, who gazes up at them like they're the second coming. Her eyes might even be a little watery. I reach over and take her hand and give her a reassuring squeeze. I'm very proud of how far you've both come. Especially you, Piper. I'm eternally grateful that Robin helped us mend what I'd so stubbornly broken. And I'm lucky that I get to work side by side with such cherished friends. No. For the record, if you romance August, Piper is just as happy for you. To watch her fall in love has been a true privilege. I know she likes to pretend she and August are mortal enemies, but they share a deep connection, their friendship one of those rare and beautiful things that not many people get to experience. Now, this is why I can't get in the whole Piper-August train. I know there's people who ship them, but I can't see it happening. I think they work best as friends. I love that they have such a strong friendship and that you get to help them repair it. And I wouldn't trade that for a forced romance. But I just have their tall, dark, handsome diplomat. And I've seen who the developers picture for their diplomat. And Hattie. I don't know what to say. To have their approval surely means the world to her. You don't have to say anything, Merriman. I was worried that you'd committed yourself too fully to the class, but now I see that you've grown to be such a fine young woman outside of being a hunter. You finally blossomed into what I always knew you could be. She sweats at her cheeks quickly and sits up straight, pointing her toe to nudge them in the leg. Isabel also texted her gesture as I've ever seen her offer them, and August bites back the smile that threatens to curl up their lips. These two, I love their friendship so much. Piper holds herself so tightly wound like a knot and it's only her privilege to see her unfurl, however brief it may be. The kind of stuff that Piper's been through, I'm not surprised. And Piper's hunters are discouraged from forming attachments. But Piper and the hunter decide that, and I love it. So you're saying we can have some vacation time, yeah? They have to laugh and roll their eyes, moving back into their seats and picking up the report. On the condition that you rewrite this absolute travesty of a report, yes. They chuck it at her, carpet flying everywhere, and Piper laughs as she sweats with the air to gather the faces. Flat. So, when is the wedding, and do I get to offer my invaluable advice when it comes to contacts or tailoring? They would. Piper looks at me searchingly. We never discussed it, any of it. I smile at her and then turn to August. As soon as possible, I think. I'm quite keen to marry her. 1 month later. After a few weeks of preparation, the big day has finally arrived. I'm positively giddy as I wander the streets of Lunaris. No office or paperwork or bloody knives today, just me, myself, and I. It's a beautiful day, and the sun is shining for us, as rare as that is this side of Estria, and so I take it as a sign, a good indicator of things to come. Since this is supposed to be sort of based on England, I can totally understand that. I'm in Southern California, so most days are sunny here. In fact, you could say that it's too warm sometimes. It's been nice and cool the last week, 2 weeks, and now it's warming up again. I turn the corner and find the familiar shimmer of Ezra's maid's light lantern calling out to me in the same way it did the first night I arrived, and I think about how much we've all been through since that fateful night. What if I don't cover the words with my cursor? I press my palm to the door and feel the warmth of his magic seeping into my palms, his words welcoming me. He and Finn are cozied up behind his counter, the vampire's eyes flashing gold in the din when he spots me. I think it was supposed to be something else. Robin! Oh, you're here. Good. Come. I hurry over to see what he's trying to show me, and my heart skips a beat when I see 2 little velvet foxes being pushed in my direction. Little velvet foxes. What could they possibly be? There's a mischievous twinkle in his eyes, and he seems eager for me to open them. He's had so much fun crafting these for you, you know. It's been a nice break from weapons for once, something small and meaningful rather than something fit to cut creatures' heads off. Finn wrinkles his nose and presses a kiss to Ezra's temple. Poetic. I take a deep breath and open the lid of one of the boxes, and the ring is beautiful. A simple silver band, no fuss, just how Piper likes it. It's lovely, Ezra. Thank you so much. He excitedly reaches for it, looking at me with wide eyes and a smile as he carefully plucks it from the cushion that keeps it safe. I used one of the daggers you gave me. There's just a little magic infused within the metal, enough for you to know when she's near, and vice versa. That's sweet. He presses his other hand to Finn's where he rested upon the countertop. The magic that runs through his prosthetic flickers with the touch, thrumming like a heartbeat. It isn't as strong as this because neither of you are witches, but I endeavored to recreate it as best as I could for you. Finn turns his palm and they lace their fingers, and the thrumming gets a little faster, a little brighter. He then leans in and winks at me. He definitely didn't get the naughty magic books from the top shelf. Ezra blushes and kicks him. If Finn's little oof is anything to go by. I might have delved into the black magic a tiny bit, but just a smidge to get the right effect. It was worth it anyway. What's Robin gonna do, really? Ezra's just her friend, and he did this for her and Piper. For them. She's not gonna report him for that. Well, it means a lot, so thank you again. You're so welcome. You and Piper mean a great deal to us. To all of us. We're happy to see you happy, Robin. I grin and pocket the matching boxes, the weight of them in my coat grounding me strangely. I stopped by the tavern to change my outfit come sundown. Edna has let me keep my room here for a small fee, and I mostly let Ackler and Omen use it if they want to crash here. I've refused many beverages if they can't be asked to walk into the forest. It's busy tonight, and as I'm heading for the stairs, I spot the two of them in a booth in the corner, leaning close, their foreheads touching. Looks like everyone in Lunaris has found happiness in their own little way. Ackler spots me and waves me over, and so I slide into a seat opposite them. Robin, we were just talking about how excited we are for the joining. Ackler pulls a weird face. The joining? Omen, I told you not to call it that. Sounds fucking weird, buddy. Omen frowns and shrugs his shoulders, pouting down at the tankard of ale he has touched between his palms. That's what Elaine calls her ceremony. Yeah, well, Elaine is even weirder than you, and I say this with love. Only Ackler would say something like that, with love. Omen starts to laugh when Ackler places a great big wet kiss upon his cheek, his face flushing as red as the silk shirt he wears. Anyway, you excited? Nervous? Shitting your fancy pants? No. Marrying someone is a huge step. You're basically putting your life to them. You're committing to spending your life with one person. And that's a huge step. And especially a lot of emotions are associated with it. So I take a deep breath and exhale slowly, embracing the fact that I am shitting myself a little bit. If I can't be honest with Elkhart, then who can I be honest with? A little bit of all of that, I think, actually. Well, that's normal, I suppose. Can't say I'm familiar with all of this myself, but I'm sure it'd be pretty fucking scary. You love her, that much is fair, and despite all of our differences and bickering, Merriman is all right. We make each other happy, and that's all that matters, isn't it? He smiles at Omen, and I see their tails coil around each other where they rest, on the bench between them. Now that's sweet. That is all that matters, yes. I should get going. I have a hunter to marry. They both grin at me as I remove myself from the booth. Good luck. See you there. Yeah, and I hope the booth is going to be flowing freely if I have to watch all that lovey-dovey crap. Oh, I'm sure you'll do quite well on that front. Ezra and August have done a wonderful job making the forest look fit for a wedding. The trees are littered with colorful maze-light lanterns that look like fireflies nestled amongst the leaves. It's strange to see everyone gathered here for us, to celebrate something that doesn't involve someone being captured or killed or some other formal ceremony. This is just about Piper and me, and it feels good. And then I spot her, and I forget how to form words. Wait for it. Wait for it. Whoa. Fucking mood. Oh. Just, gorgeous. She dips her head to the side and smiles slightly. Could say the same for you. Yeah, I'm kind of picturing that Robin has a more traditional actual wedding dress. Maybe instead of a long sword coat like Piper, she has like a short little bolero jacket. Not sure what color though, not white, but color to sort of accent it, to kind of go with Piper's look. And like Piper, she has her hair down, maybe some flowers. You look incredible. Piper is an enigma, a hurricane, and once she has you in her sights, there's no shaking yourself loose. As if you'd ever want to. She's disarmingly gorgeous, a force to be reckoned with, something that seems wholly untouchable, but touch her I can. I reach for her and lace our fingers, and under the light of one of the brightest moons I've ever seen here in Lunaris, we pledge ourselves to each other. When we slide the rings onto each other's fingers, I could see what Ezra meant. Something coils in the pit of my belly, a blossoming warmth that settles and makes me feel warm, enveloped in arms that promise to keep me safe. Piper must feel it too, and the thought that we can share this forever is something that brings me immense comfort. We step away afterwards, away from the people and the party, just to steal some time alone. Piper leans against a tree and gazes at me from beneath long lashes, and she lets out a sharp, slow exhale, her shoulders relaxing. I don't think I've ever seen her so content. You know, the only thing I've ever been sure of in my life is being a hunter. I was good at fighting, even when I was little. My father was almost killed by a wolf, and I saved his life. I was only 11, and it was right there in front of me, snapping his teeth, so I grabbed a knife from the dining table, and she closes her eyes for a moment. When she opens them, she has clarity. It's all I've ever been good at, is what I'm trying to say. But now I think I'm pretty all right at loving you. Her words waver as her eyes lock, and there's that gaze, the earnest one that knocks the air from my lungs every damn time. Piper loves to pretend she's the strongest in the room at any given time, and she is, but she's also so full of love and warmth that it catches you and throws you off kilter. You're more than all right, Piper. Oh, so pretty. The ring on her finger catches in the light of the moon, and when she laughs and reaches up to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear. So just admire the art, admire the smile, just bask. I'm always struck by how beautiful she is, but tonight she's positively glowing. I can't believe she's really mine, officially. You're amazing. I love you so much. Just as well I'm all yours then, right? I'll be the best fucking wife anyone's ever had. Got it? I never doubted that for a second. I step forward and she grabs me by the waist, pulling me flush against her with a wicked look in her eyes. She presses her lips to my ear, and her voice is a whisper, her words a secret, just for us to hear. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. I smile, because Piper is the best thing that's ever happened to me, too, and we haven't even started yet. The end of this one. I just remembered that I actually took notes. I had ideas of what Robin's wedding dress would look like. Just have to remember where they are. I know it's from this notebook. No, that's definitely not it. No, oh, I remember that. Oh, right. I dated the pages. So that was before this, wasn't it? No, I got this. Right. Oh, right. This is me muttering. I remember when I started playing this. Right. Okay. Here we go. Um, no, not this one. No, no. This is, I remember writing this. Here we go. Okay. Um, yeah, so her lieutenant general uniform, she wears, well, in general, she wears kind of the same. Her hunter uniform is kind of the same as Piper. She has white tunic that waistens all the way up, dark gray trousers, black knee-high boots, and then she wears a brigandine. Um, it's basically like this leather vest type thing with plates sewn into it. If you've seen the Chronicles of Narnia with Ben Barnes as Prince Caspian, what he wears when he escapes the castle is a brigandine, and that was actually where I got the idea for it. She wears leather pauldrons, which are the shoulder things, and van braces, which are the bracers. And she carries her weapons are a sword and a dagger, and then she has another dagger that she keeps strapped to her thigh just as a last resort. Her wedding clothes, here we go. She wears a white dress with a sweetheart neckline, and it's a princess style, and she wears a Spencer jacket that's dark red and white slacks. So yeah, just picture her wearing, a little like Piper's outfit, except it's a dress, and the neckline is a little higher, and she wears basically a dark red coat over it. So, and then going to the gallery. So these are all, so you can see there's art for each of these. I'm not going to click on them because I want you to experience them for yourself. But here's Piper's, and it's full glory. So that is it for this one. Home. Go home, go home, go home. There we go. So I will be back with the last one. So see you in a bit.